All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Tree House Brewing Company, and they're headquartered in Charlton, Massachusetts, and this is their Very DDDoubleganger. Yeah, that's the name of it. Anyway, this is a triple IPA that comes in at 9.2% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed, time of review. This can is just over 1 month old. I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a couple of very good friends of mine and fellow BeerTubers, Dan and Mike over at FLX Beer Reviews for this beer. So big thanks to them. In the description box, I'll post a link to their channel. And as I always say, great dudes, great channel. Go check them out. Hilarious content. And they're better people than their content would lead you to believe. No, they're just great people in general. And I believe it was Dan who actually gave me this one. So back in early September, we had a beer tubing get-together in Albany, New York with a handful of different beer tubers. And we shared some beers, reviewed some beers, went to some breweries. And the last brewery that we went to on the way home was Tree House's new Saratoga Springs, New York location. We got some pizza, we got some pours, and we all left with a couple of 4-packs. We shared some beers, and Dan was nice enough to throw a can of this one my way. So they have a big spiel on the back, as they always mention, different things, 3 different paragraphs. It's insane. But basically, it just says that this is the ultimate expression of their alter ego family of beer. So I love alter ego. I love Doubleganger. I've had Doubleganger. I've had different variants of Doubleganger, and it's a great beer. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's a huge triple IPA, 9.2%, and just over 1 month old. So let's crack this one open, get in the glass, see what we got going on. And I'm actually reviewing this an hour after I just got done reviewing Sierra Nevada's Pils. That is a 4.7% Pilsner that is an 8.4 fluid ounce can. So I'm like, I'm reviewing another beer today. And why not go to the other end of the spectrum and get a big triple IPA at 9.2%? So we're going to give it a pour here into the glass that I did pick up at Tree House. Wow, that looks a lot darker than I anticipated. This looks oxidized. I hope that's not the case, but this definitely looks, on camera, it looks way better than in person, but that definitely is very, very dark. Oh, it smells awesome, though. Holy fuck. I don't know, maybe just the sheer amount of malt. So on camera, that looks beautiful. In person, it actually looks a little bit darker, but that is like skirting the lines of like a very oxidized IPA. It's skirting the lines. But yeah, it's murky, it's turbid, it's murked. It has about 1.5 fingers of a super creamy, very lightly tan-colored head. Looks absolutely beautiful in the hashtag proper glassware. And yeah, not much more to say about it. Looks awesome, except for a bit darker than I anticipated. Let's get a nose. All right. Oh, God. Tons. It's Tree House, so a lot of people get bubblegum with their yeast. I get vanilla. This screams to me like passion fruit creamsicle, peach creamsicle, orange creamsicle, some kind of like tropical or like citrus creamsicle. You definitely get the malt at 9.2%, has this like bready, yeah, this big like white bread kind of malt. Excuse me, a little bit of like a herbaceousness. I would say honeydew melon rind. A little bit of mango. It's very juicy smelling. It's like juicy fruit. Is the not the gum, but like a bunch of different juicy fruit. It's like passion fruit juice to me. Can't detect the 9.2%, but based on the look of it, yeah, I feel like it's a bigger beer. It smells really awesome. Like I said, the only thing is it's a bit darker than I would like, so hopefully it's not oxidized. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Dan. That's not oxidized. It's pretty fucking good. There is a little bit of alcohol in Strincy, though. And I don't drink huge beers from Tree House, like triple IPAs. A lot of their beers, like the highest that I've had off the top of the dome piece is like in the 8 to 8.5 realm. So 9.2 is a bit bigger. So there is a little bit of booziness here, but it's nice. Body and mouthfeel, 5 out of 5. The body is, it's full, it's thick, it's viscous, but it's not overbearing, but it's definitely, it packs a wallop on the palate. And then the mouthfeel is Tree House. It's soft and smooth, it's creamy. Nothing else needs to be said. Softer than anticipated, smooth, creamy, done. The taste, I really like the first like 3/4 of the palate because that's where like there's no booziness. And it's a huge, like just like a ton of juicy like orange. Passion fruit. There's that underlying vanilla thing. Also, again, there is a maltiness here that's bready, a little biscuity. Man, passion fruit, peach, definitely citrus, tangerine, orange, but it's again, juicy. That's the first half of the palate. Second half is where I get that honeydew melon rind. There's a little bit of mango, like a slight spicy, like kind of like peppery mango skin. It's not really peppery, but it's like a slight spicy mango skin. Maybe a touch of like a red berry. And then the finish is, to me, it's boozy. It has a slightly astringent kind of alcohol character, firmly dry with a mild bitterness, but that booziness makes it even drier, or feel drier. It has a good balance to it because of the booziness, believe it or not. And it also has like this earthy kind of like floral finish, slightly dank, slightly herbaceous. It's a tale of two beers. It's like the first 3/4 of the palate is spectacular, and the last is kind of weird because of the booziness. What's the wild thing about it is 9.2%, nothing in my chest, booziness on the palate. Look at the glass lacing too in the hashtag proper glassware. That glass lacing is fucking top notch. Without that booziness, this is a fucking top tier, approaching world class triple IPA. The body and mouthfeel spectacular. The sheer juiciness and like hop saturation, this one's awesome. No hop burn, just over a month old. So Kyle over at No Hype Beer Reviews, very good friend of mine, fellow beer tuber, he's been drinking some Tree House and going, it seems like they've overhopped the beers to the point where you get that like hop burn kind of astringent even at like 3-4 weeks old. And I got that on a couple of the beers. And I'll tell you what, this doesn't have it. That astringency on the finish is definitely boozy and not like a hop burn, because you can tell the difference if you drink enough beers that have hop burn as opposed to big ABV beers. But this is kind of astringent in a different way, so it kind of knocks it down a bit. It's still a fucking awesome beer. I'd highly recommend you checking this one out if you can get your hands on it and go to one of their 6 locations or 7 locations. We'll talk about it momentarily. Price, the score on this one's, I'm kind of in between 2 scores. I think from just a pure deliciousness standpoint, like flavor-wise, this is like a high 4.5 into a low 4.75. But I'm going to knock it down a little bit, like almost a quarter rating. Why? That astringency kind of bothers me on the back of the palate from the booze. Nothing on the chest, which is great, but a little bit of booziness on the palate. And this could have been like a 4.7, maybe like a 4.65, 4.7. As is, though, Very DDDoublegangerrr. I'm bullshitting you. That's the name of the beer. That's definitely the name of the beer. I'm going to give this a, we'll go low 4.5, we'll go 4.4. I still think it's an awesome beer. It's just a little couple tweaks here. Dial down the booziness is the main one. Excuse me, and I'm all in. But thank you very much, Dan. This was fun to try out, and it's a damn delicious triple IPA. Excuse me. Very carbonated for some reason. Now, it's probably from the Sierra Nevada one I drank an hour ago. I finished that up about half an hour ago. Anyway, price point availability, $24 a 4-pack. I always wax poetic about Treehouse and their price points. They're usually very reasonably priced. $6 for a can of this. It's only 9.2%. That's on the higher end. That's a bit more expensive than I'd like to pay for a beer like this from Treehouse, from the source. But I can't argue that 9.2% hop saturated beer like this that I gave a 4.4 is not worth $6 a can, because it probably is. Availability, got to go to one of the locations that they have listed here. They have 7. Charlton, Massachusetts, South Deerfield, Massachusetts, Sandwich, Massachusetts, I was say Massachusetts, Tewksbury, Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts, Woodstock, Connecticut, and Saratoga Springs, New York. And you got to get them there. So they do, you know what, I'll read whatever. I'll read down here, or the back. So I already said the first thing about them being a part of the Alter Ego family of beers. And then it says, born out of a desire to continue pushing the envelope, this thoughtfully crafted beer provides an epic hop saturation propelled by a dense body and tongue-coating mouthfeel. 100%. Pouring a wild, hazy orange color. It's more like a deep, dark, like honey orange, even further than that. Now, looking at it in person, again, it doesn't look oxidized. as much as it did originally. Now that I drink it down, it looks more like it does on camera. It says this beast carries dense notes of tropical fruit, sure. A medley of mango and citrus, yeah. And summer stone fruit, sure. That is so juicy, it's hard to believe that it is concocted of just water, malt, hops, and yeast. That's actually a great, like, I gotta, listen, I reviewed their Bison, the American Pale Ale recently. They fucking nailed that one. And they nailed the tasting notes, and they kind of did this again. They don't talk anything about the booziness, but it's definitely there. It finishes cleanly, sure, with a palate coating bitterness that entices your next sip. It's not really bitter. It's more dry than bitter, and it has that boozy astringency. Yeah, it's not bitter. It's a very mild bitterness. It's very, very dry. And now I just went back and that bitterness has kind of subsided, probably because my palate's been acclimated to it. It's a 4.4. Rivaled only by the almighty Julius, this one is truly special. Enjoy. You know what? I think as this opens up in the glass, probably be a little bit better. My palate has been acclimated to the astringency from the booze, and the glass lacing is fucking top tier. Anyway, I'm shutting this one down. If you've had this one before, or any of the other 7,000 different variants of Doubleganger and Doubleganger and Very DDDoubleganger and all these other ones, the stuttering Doublegangers I have, let me know what you think about them. What's your favorite? Have you had this one before? If so, I'd love to hear from you. Huge thanks to Dan once again for this beer. I do think this one has a pretty good balance because the dryness, along with that alcohol astringency and a little bit of mild bitterness, breaks up all that sweet, malty 9.2% goodness. So it's a good balance. And it's a 4.4 out of 4, which is a fucking fantastic score. Would have got better without that alcohol astringency, though. I probably would have given this like a 4.65, honestly. That's how much the alcohol astringency bothered me. But now I'm kind of acclimated to it. It doesn't bother me as much. So anyway, I'm going to shut this one down. Huge thanks to Dan. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.